So I wanted to make an Adventure Time sword, but I ended up breaking it. That means we're gonna make a new one. First step, fill in the gaps on both sides with spot putty. Get some cardboard, get a popsicle stick, and mix it up. Now, wait for everything to dry and go wash off your fingers. So this is gonna take a minute to dry. Come back for part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of making a Finn sword. First layer of Bondo's dry, time to sand it off and add some more. Since we're just starting off, I recommend a low to medium grit sandpaper. Even 240 grit works just fine. I'm using 320 grit. Let's get started.
With me to a cliff under a tree where we can gaze upon.
Alright, sanding complete. Time to add more Bondo.
Everlasting dream.
Whenever you're sanding Bondo, please remember to wear a mask. This stuff creates fine particles and you don't want to breathe it in. Also, if it's not smooth after your second pass of sanding, just go ahead and add some more and resand. Until part 3, guys. Hey, really quick, thanks for all the support on parts 1 and 2. Really means a lot. And after going to school all day, going to work all day, it means a lot to come home and make something that people actually enjoy. So let me get changed really quick and then we'll get started on part 3. That's better. Now with all the Bondo sanded down to my liking, we're gonna move on to the next step, which is XTC 3D. This stuff is resin that helps fill in gaps and layer lines in your 3D prints. So for this part, you're gonna need mixing cups, part A, part B, and a paper plate. Okay, so now I've got it hanging up to dry. I'm gonna let this set up and then I'm gonna come back, sand it down, add a little bit more, and then we're in the final stretch. So I will see you in part 4. Hey everybody. So today we're taking a break from the blade. We're gonna make the gem that goes in the palm. Here's how. To do this, we're going to use some tinfoil, some silicone, and some cornstarch. Get some gloves on, because this one's gonna be messy. Get enough tinfoil to cover your work surface. Then you want to dump a little mound of cornstarch wherever you're working. You want to make sure it's 100% silicone. Squirt some silicone into the mound and mix. You want this stuff to a consistency where you can do that. Now just set that down and push it into the silicone. Now we're going to mix up some casting resin.
Share them all with you.
Gotta mix this stuff for 5 minutes.
Maybe by next summer.
Once your mold's hardened, pop your piece out. Then fill it with resin. Resin usually takes 24 hours to cure, so I'm going to paint the blade in part 5. Here's part 5 of Finn's Golden Sword. So the gem for the pommel didn't come out quite like I liked. I'm going to work on that off camera. So we're going to go back to the blade by priming and painting it. I like to use this stuff. This fills in gaps and is sandable. Eventually, we're gonna prime the entire thing, but for now, I just wanna hit the blade, so let's mask off from the guard down. I'm just gonna use painter's tape and paper towels. All right, shake up your can. Once it's dry, we're gonna sand it down, reprime, and paint black. So I messed up. I ended up breaking it. I gotta glue back together and I'm gonna go back through all the finishing processes to get it back to the start of this video. So then we can get on to part 6, which is painting the blade and the hilt. See you next time. No time for a flashy intro, we gotta get started. So I got the sword back to where it was last night. We're gonna get it back to black and paint the handle too. So I've actually ended up losing where one of the seams was. It's so smooth now. I guess we can just focus on this guy.
To a cliff under a tree.
while the Bondo sets up, I wanted to show you something cool about the gold spray paint that I use. This is a propane torch. Don't try this at home. Alright, got it all sanded back down. Time to go reprime. Okay, so I've got her drying right here. I'm gonna leave her for a little bit and go eat some donuts. One thing I absolutely love about filler primer is it dries super quick.
We won't have changed our tune.
Alright, so now we're back to where we were at the beginning. That means in the next part we're gonna paint the blade gold and we just gotta add the finishing touches. I'll see you in part 7. Hi. Sorry it took me a minute to get this part out. Life gets the best of you sometimes and you end up having to just stop. But we're back now and we are ready to paint the sword gold. So obviously the blade is going to be gold. That means we need to mask from the guard down again.
Please come along
Alright, time for the gold.
to a cliff under a tree.
Now ain't that pretty? I'm going to let this set up just a little bit longer and then we're going to go over some detail work on the handle and on the blade. So now that the blade is dry, we're going to paint the leather wrap with some acrylic paints.
My collections, I'll share them all with you.
Okay, so we're nearly done. I'm gonna work on the rest of the handle off camera. I'm still working on the gems. Hopefully I can get that done by part 8. Might extend it a little bit, and then do a little bit more detail work all over. And then we're done. I'll see you in part 8. Hey guys, welcome back to part 8. Today we're gonna be going over what I'm doing for the gem that goes in the pommel. So I picked up these pre-made molds and I'm gonna show you what didn't work and what did, so that way we can go over and put it in the pommel. So today I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up this guy. These were the results from testing these two molds here. Here are some gems that almost worked and didn't work at all. So I picked this stuff up at Hobby Lobby tonight. It cures white and it cures in about 5 minutes instead of the 24 like the other stuff I use.
As an everlasting dream.
So you just saw these things set up in maybe a matter of 5 minutes. I'm gonna leave them in the mold for about maybe another 5 to 10, and then we're gonna pop them out and get them on the sword. So let's pop these guys out and see how they look. Alright, let's get these on the sword.
We won't have changed our
Alright, so both gems are on. They're looking pretty good. Come back for part 9 where we go over the rest of the sword with the finishing details, and then we're done. Welcome back to part 9. This episode's gonna be pretty short because all we need to do is paint the details on the back of the blade and the guard.
bees. We can wander through the forest and do so as we please. Come along.
Alright, and with all of that, we are officially done with Finn's Golden Sword. Alright, so now announcement time. So for my 5,000 follower special, I'm gonna make the Demon Blood Sword. It's been requested a lot, and I think that's gonna be a really cool paint job. I'm gonna work on that in the background, getting everything prepped and 3D printed and all of that. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna leave you without videos. I'm gonna have some shorter, more manageable projects coming up here in the future. The Demon Blood Sword is going to be a giveaway within the US though, only within the US. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me through this, and I will see you in the next video.